Colonel, let's move from South Korea over to, I don't know, let's go to Panama. At what point are we going to take back the Panama Canal? I mean, it was a very interesting press conference that the president-elect Trump gave not that long ago, talking about the importance of the Panama Canal and the importance of ensuring that we have control over it in some fashion. Tell me what you think is going on there. Why suddenly is he bringing up the Panama Canal?
Well, let's get things first straight. Raul Molino, the new president who was sworn in on July 1st in Panama, let's get things straight here. The guy is actually a populist, and the guy is actually kind of pro-U.S. He's just having to deal with an absolute horrendous U.S. State Department that has ignored Panama for 25 years. Do you know how many times, and you know what Panama's number one needs are? Their bridges, their roads, and there's railways. And do you know how many times a U.S. civil engineering firm since the handover in 2001 has responded to a request for proposal from Panama that's put them out many times since 2001? You want to know how many times a U.S. civil engineering firm has responded to bid? Zero.
I'm going to go with zero. See?
Zero.
See, I knew it.
Zero.
Yeah.
Now, the Panama was on the one of the big deterrents for a U.S. civil engineering firm to even respond was for so many years, Panama was blacklisted as corrupt. They're off that list. They came off that list. But it's kind of a two-edged sword. Okay, they're corrupt, but therefore we're not going to let any Americans go down there. Well, what happens? The Chinese move in. After a while, the Panamanians go, well, hold it. You know what? You guys, zero. Zippo, nada, zilcho, did an American firm respond to a single request for proposal. Well, no wonder the Chinese have moved, and we created a vacuum. And then Aponte, the U.S. ambassador, what is their number one priority? Transgenderism. So we go to all these darn conferences. We lecture them on transgenderism, and the Chinese come in and now they built kind of crappy roads and bridges, and they haven't delivered on everything. But
they've been there.
Roads. They need bridges. They need infrastructure. And we've been a ghost in Panama since the handover. And the enduring treaty that took effect after the handover, three elements where the United States was supposed to be involved and essentially ceded, surrendered, and walked away. One is the proper operations of the canal, okay? The security of the canal and the neutrality of the canal. And again, we walked away. So we got to get this straight here. What happened? We're digging out of a 25-year hole of nothingness. We did nothing, okay? Now,
well, I mean, John, you could argue that, look, that's been the pattern of activity in South America, Central America for decades, right? We've had a tendency, a variety of administrations, to ignore or act as if it's just not important to put our top resources in that region, and then we get what we get, right? Which typically is governments coming in that are hostile to U.S. interests, or, as you pointed out, the Chinese regime coming in, which they've been doing now for years, not just there, but also in Africa and elsewhere, doing just that, increasing their presence, building infrastructure, whether it's crappy or not, and locking down permits for a variety of rare earth and critical minerals. So I think Panama is just one more example of that.
Yeah, we got to participate. This is ridiculous. If I had $10 for every time a State Department employee, when I was in a bilat or a multilat with Central or South America, the number of times of, well, they don't like us. They have all these bad memories of death squads, and we're just going to kind of sit here and listen to them. We're not actually going to, I literally, the number of times that happened in different things, and I just about wanted to choke out some of these State Department dweebs who would say stupid things like that. I mean, it was like,
well, that wouldn't go over well in the meeting. That would not go over well in the meeting. And I also like how you said if I had $10 for every time, which is really inflationary.
Yeah, inflationary. Yeah. So we'd have enough for a good meal together, Mike. I mean, it's
Yeah, there
ridiculous.
you go.
They have this bizarre worldview that why even have a State Department? Why even have a
Yeah.
State Department if we're gonna when I went down to Panama, one of the dweebs from the I was down there with Ann Vandersteel and Michael Yon, and somebody from the embassy came out because they wanted to talk to us. And I said, well, okay, here's the deal. We'll be happy to talk, but it's all going to be on the record. Okay, we're going to be on the record, and we're going to be able to talk about it. And the guy goes, well, I got to get approval on that. And he goes back. He goes, oh no, that's okay. Okay, loser.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's gonna take 12 layers of bureaucracy, Colonel, to
Yeah.
get that approval. But
Yeah.
look, I mean, if we look at what Trump is doing, and I think this is a classic example, though, in terms of what the immediate reaction from the media, of course, to his comments about not just Panama Canal but Greenland, was the typical pearl clutching that you get from the media, because they take everything he says literally, right? Rather than understanding the personality of the person who's now going to be stepping back into the White House and thinking, well, maybe these are negotiating tactics. So maybe he's talking about these things for a specific reason, and you shouldn't perhaps just take everything he says literally.
Mike, I don't know about you. I took negotiation classes both as a special operations officer and as a U.S. government civilian. I took a number of professional negotiation classes. A good friend of mine who was a career foreign service officer, we were talking about this. I said, well, how many times did you take a negotiation class? Because you were responsible for all this complex negotiation. You know what his answer was?
I'm going to go with 0.
0.
See, we're on the same track.
And this is the typical Harvard Belfer Center imperious attitude. What do I need? I need a professional class in negotiation. I bought a car. I bought a house. I know how to negotiate. No, that's a loser. No, how can we put people in charge of complex negotiations that have never actually been trained on negotiations? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.